Answer here. We have a really interesting topic. We have some distractionary audio in the background intentionally. We have Star Trek Insurrection, probably a half hour in. As we contemplate the subject, scientists say aliens could be watching us from 9 planets beyond our solar system. So we're going to be taking a look at this. Aliens on at least 9 planets beyond the solar system would be ideally placed to detect and observe the Earth, scientists have shown. The research has echoes of H.G. Wells' classic sci-fi novel War of the Worlds, in which the author writes about intellects, vast, cool, and unsympathetic, watching the human race. There is no evidence of Martians or any other ETs planning to invade the Earth, but the new research suggests that we are not well hidden from aliens, should they be out there. The scientists, one of whom is coincidentally named Robert Wells, identified parts of the sky from where various planets in our solar system could be seen passing in front of the sun as they undertake so-called transits. They calculated that the smaller rocky planets, including Earth, would be far more easy to spot than the gas and ice giants Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune that are further from the sun. End. Stop. Boom. I haven't even started my commentary. I just want to ease into this. Again, clean program. Your children might as well learn about things here rather than the Sci-Fi Channel. Now, we live in a really interesting world. There's been some interesting topics that we have been discussing as of recently. There's certainly a number of TV shows coming from human imagination for a reason. I'm also going to be talking about some other information regarding the sun, geomagnetic activity. We're actually going to go to that now before I start going like off. Like it literally going to another planet with my ideas outside the box of what is considered earthly. But the possible effect of solar and geomagnetic activity on paranormal activity and ghost investigations. Keep in mind, if you're watching this live, you are watching this during a geomagnetic storm, following a lot of other energy that's in the air after the eclipse, but a lot of people aren't connecting the dots. It is theorized that paranormal entities, ghost spirits, or at least in part based on or composed of energy. This theory is strongly supported, as many encounters with the paranormal coincide with measurements of relatively high or unusual energy levels, electric, magnetic, thermal, etc., at the same time and location. It is theorized that entities somehow tap into available ambient sources of energy, drawing on them to constitute and manifest themselves. Okay, so I'm just going to take a breather there. A lot of information I'm kind of getting into right out of the gate. There is something that I wanted to bring up here. That's right. So we are powerful human beings with an energy field around us, within us. And some people aren't aware of this. And the more that I've been looking at the solar flares and how they even boost my own energy, my thoughts, those of others, and we may express it in ways that we may judge as this is positive, this is negative, but it really doesn't matter. It's more of what it is. It's more human excitability. So there's something that I'm connecting the dots here with regards to, and let's go back and continue. Solar energy is most commonly thought of as simple light. When light is a component of solar energy, the sun emits a constant stream of highly charged particles that shower the Earth every day. X-rays, gamma rays, cosmic rays, alpha rays. It is these high energy particles that interact with the atmosphere and the Earth's natural magnetic field that causes the aurora borealis. This is stuff that I've already said, but I'm reading from, let me mention the website again for the first time, Long Island Paranormal Investigators. Now, I'm drawing a link with myself being from Portland, a sea level city on the West Coast, And this group and other ghost hunting or aware groups at sea level on the East Coast, and maybe an energetic link between cities like Portland and cities in Europe, old cities in Europe, and places on the East Coast. I think this is some energy that I've been tapping into, as well as many others. Going back to this blog here, fortunately for us, better than 99% of these particles are blocked by the Earth's magnetic field. Okay, so they're just going over the basic science. It is theorized that ghosts and spirits may be able to use this, use this constant shower of high energy particles as an energy source to manifest themselves. The term that I've been using, that you've heard me use, is conduit. So they're having their own understanding of this, as am I, as I am sure others are, as some of you may. Solar activity isn't constant. The sun has periods of higher intensity emissions at certain times rather than others. Sunspots and solar flares are periods of higher, more intense energy emissions. Continuing, going down. For these reasons, Long Island paranormal investigators tracks and notes solar activity during our investigations. This information is provided by NASA by satellites. See, so they're giving their interpretation just like suspicious observers who's studying the solar flare effect on the weather, perhaps earthquakes, other things. Okay. Looking at that real-time data. It's all a matter of what you're looking at, cause and effect. So I think there should be more people looking at this, and then it gets into geomagnetic activity. And then you start looking at the effect on consciousness. And we went over some slides in a previous video. So let's go back to the main topic of discussion, and let's look at this from the sun. And let's look at how all of this is linking together. How could all of this be linking together? Not separate, but actually even having the openness and the imagination, the very fact that you're watching this video at this time. By the way, the more of your data I gather, the more I understand what it means to be human. Let me just go ahead and give my own opinion before I start reading more articles. But yeah, the surveillance society that has been perpetuated upon us, and a lot of people unknowingly, like surveillance, right, under the guise of terrorism. There's another reason the system's been set up. And I don't think a lot of humans are suspect enough. They're not looking in the right directions. These solar epochs, these energies, it seems to be moving our realities forward. And I do believe that it intersects our world with other dimensions, whatever they be. So it's not just the increase in hurricanes and other events. We could see these geomagnetic storms. I believe the veil is thinner. And some people even become possessed. Some people have a spiritual experience. Sometimes we see an increase in telepathic abilities and people connecting in a non-local awareness sense. See the idea of portals opening and closing, where they be maybe even government black op projects as depicted by and then drawing, like I have Star Trek over here, distractions over here, eclipses over here. Stargate. Yeah, that's the name of the show. And it's really interesting that some of those movies are out there, right? As we transition over here to make our government look like the good guys with their portal opening. Could there be certain periods? I'm gonna wrap up this phase of my commentary, right, where they do communicate with other beings or are planning to in the future. And we're talking about in this case the black ops or the secret government rather. You know, the dark side of Stargate, for example. And people think about CERN. But what this is, what we're looking at here, the Watchers, aliens living on 9 planets outside the solar system, could be watching us right now. So the way I look at this like I look at a lot of other articles. This is like, these articles where we come across, hey, new planets have been discovered. Magnetic fields changing dramatically on other planets, changing our understanding of things. Cosmic rays slamming into the Earth cause massive mystery into, are we in a simulation? Like big stuff from the last few years, where usually crazy people talked about these things. That's right, crazy people. Now you see Reuters. Now you see the mainstream. But is everything a conspiracy? The answer is no. This reflects society and humanity coming to a certain level to where people are asking the real questions. Now, people are gonna, go into their different directions with where they are with this information. There are many people out there that are looking solely at negative entities. There are many people out there that are looking solely at positive entities that are very unaware of, like, say, like channelers being hijacked and people being fed like a line of bull, where they could be channeling some archon while they're thinking they're channeling an archangel who's telling them their future. So, I mean, this is something I talked about a lot. This is like a huge issue. So, yeah, not only are we being surveilled, in my opinion, uh, there are a number of energies that are playing their role in sending people astray. Now, there's a part of me that wants to put out a letter to the good aliens that might be watching, or I don't know, spirits, guardians of the earth. My Lord, we need some help down here on Earth, and maybe the help is already there. It's just like message in a bottle. I've got some stuff to say. I've already given the finger to the devil of this world, but to the good guys up above that might be watching us, Truman Show. I'm sure I'm giving them a lot of material. I can just hear the alcoholic aliens, just snorting up all that Facebook so they can better learn, get inside humanity and conscious. I feel you. I've seen Dopets here on Earth in human form. I can picture the alien junkie up in space that just can't get enough of the answery, or just can't get enough of this, playing humans like a video game. So there could be good guys and bad guys, and without a doubt, there is some video game mind control, just like remote here. Look, let's get inside this human being. That's right. Let's get inside this human being. Let's put energy around this human being. The aliens might think, oh yeah, in the alternative media, the person doesn't even talk about aliens. They don't need to talk about aliens. All they need to be is the point person, right? For people to be getting their information from somebody else that's actually playing out the role of something that many of those humans don't even understand. So there's something behind even the whole race war propaganda. And I'm going to read this article in a little bit, but yeah, this is more important than debating whether the Earth is flat or round. It's what kind of social engineering is befalling humanity in this petri dish. And we think about these things, and we feel these things, even visions. It's like we're feeling through the veil and each other when we have these energy changes, moments like tonight. And I can speak to you now about higher consciousness, right, off the grid, which I choose to, with some silly Star Trek movie next to me to just add to the moment, instead of, being out at the bar, watching people fight, walking up and down, chain smoking cigarettes, chasing some girl. Hey, some of those sensations would feel good right now. But I think this is the real discussion to be had. All right, let's get into this. The Watchers. I'm going to work on my movie voice. I hope you guys don't mind as we go live on the air. And if you are getting a solid stream, let me know down in the comment section after the video is processed. Playback, for those of you that are watching that may be irritated, try not to be irritated. I'm coming to you from off the grid. It's going to be a stream issue. Watch the playback, and it should be better. Right on. And open to suggestions on topics like this. You start seeing stories like this that are up my alley, right? Let me know, because I think I'm going to be doing more videos like this throughout the fall and winter. The Watchers, aliens living on 9 planets outside the solar system, could be watching us right now, scientists warn. Extraterrestrial snoopers living in other, and they're horny mofos. Okay, some of these spirits ain't had Earth ass in a long, long time. So I mean, I don't want to frighten the ladies or anything, but I mean, there is like a straight up lust for the Earth chick that cannot be quenched when it's just simply fantasy mode and they're not actually to come all the way through. But that is the ultimate fantasy of some of these entities, to be in a physical form, to be able to have intercourse. I'm just speaking straight off intuition. There's a special kind of hell that some of these entities are in that are observing our reality. I remember one time in Dallas, Texas, and that's when I was starting to talk about the archons, or think about the idea of spiritual parasites more concentrated in some cities. more than others. And so I was taking pictures randomly at certain areas in the sky. Good thing I downloaded my Facebook page before I deactivated it. I was tired of this guy and the Borg. Too much information on the Ansari. Seriously. But I took some random pictures of the sky after a geomagnetic storm in 2012, and literally, I kid you not, she doesn't care, but I'm sure you do. I kid you not, there was literally these faces in the clouds. It straight up looked like Hellraiser, ladies and gentlemen. And so I downloaded that folder from Facebook, and I'm gonna have to find that for you later, and we'll blow it up, and you're gonna be like, Alex, those are just clouds, and maybe it was. But see, to me, I'm picking up and feeling surveillance from the sky, and even formations in the clouds where it almost seems that they reveal themselves. We see these shifts in human behavior. It feels like they are revealing themselves and their abilities as they seem to channel themselves through certain human beings. It's almost as portals are opening. Yeah, Stargate kind of symbolizes this military controlled one, but what about the natural portals opening and closing? And not at the same places, different places in the earth, and especially during eclipses. Oh, this has brought out a lot of interesting energy. Now let's just keep jumping around. Let's go over here. Sun's out, ghouls out. Paranormal activity expected to increase during eclipse. Right over here. Okay. And I understand the font is small. So, I mean, we'll be brief. The solar eclipse will be one of the most fascinating things many of us will see in our lifetimes. And paranormal researchers say the phenomena will create a whole lot of activity right here on Earth. Dennis Carroll has many titles: published author, demonologist, and paranormal investigative researcher. Quote, there are naturally occurring it's my homies, the electromagnetic lines, the electromagnetic field. They're naturally occurring electromagnetic lines throughout the entire Earth, says Carroll. There's another name that some people give these lines: ley lines. A ley line runs straight through South Carolina, he said. It's sort of a confusion nature due to it, and some people have also said that perhaps when these things occur, the veil between realities becomes thinner and there are crossovers. Kelly Lee Broski, the co-founder of Phasma Paranormal in Conway, says over the past 6 years, she and her husband have investigated over 600 cases of paranormal activity. And as the eclipse gets closer, they're getting busier. They've seen doors slamming, objects moving, people being harmed, and that's just not common from what we see. This is interesting. And I've been noticing things and talking about interesting things that I haven't seen in 12 years in having been involved in the alternative media, independent media, YouTube for about 10, 11 years. I've definitely seen different changes in human beings, and I keep bringing it up because I believe human beings are conduits for the paranormal influence. You do care. You do care. It influences the behaviors of those around you, your sexuality. It can be flipped on, flipped off, especially if you're observation or you're a Facebook addict. Don't think your relationships are just between you and the dude. There's forces, energies going back and forth. None of our chats are private, folks. I've always let you know that. We are in a different world, ladies and gentlemen. Straight up Ghostbusters. Okay. So going back, let's go into this a little bit further. And you can let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Extraterrestrial snoopers. Okay, we talked about surveillance, smartphones. Let's get deeper into this. Aliens on at least 9 planets beyond the solar system would be ideally placed to detect and observe the Earth, scientists have shown. The research has echoes of H.G. Wells. Taking a look at some of the images. This graphic explains the process of transiting. This is the sun, this is the Earth. Observer, the aliens, transit zone, which occurs when a planet passes in front of the sun. and the star. Okay, check this out. There's other reports about the atmosphere changing on Mars. What's going on with that? I mean, I've already brought in all this, but there seems to be a terraforming taking place of Mars. They're preparing for something to go down on Earth. They're already like preparing the young population for the idea of going off planet. There's some sort of a long-term plan for another species on Mars. There might really be some major changes. A, in the atmosphere of Earth. B, in the atmosphere of Mars. What is Elon Musk a front for? All right, let's go back. No evidence of Martians or other ETs. Planning to invade the Earth, but the new research suggests that we are not well hidden from aliens should they be out there. Here's also, of course, pictures of UFOs going in and out of the sun. Nassim Harriman has a video. I don't know if that's legitimate, but it's kind of interesting. An alleged artifact. Let's go ahead and review. Real brief. See, and as we see these changes with the magnetic field, we're more open to them. You've now been exposed to over a decade of information about the magnetic field weakening. Most of you, unless this is just new. But a lot of you have heard about this. Okay, so let's just move forward. And see, also, this is interesting, just going back, magnetic fields offer black hole escape route. I'm looking at that image and thinking about this article, and I'm thinking about that storm in Florida and all that water that was moved, like, micro of a macro. There was stuff going on between the Earth and the sun, indicating that we might be dealing with conscious spirits or beings, or God consciousness, like something big. Again, changes in other atmospheres on other planets. So what are we going to be looking at like in the future? Well, some of us have future lifetimes on some of these planets. It's another question. Some people might even, it's not funny. Some people might actually end up slaves like in the Matrix. It's like, who would want to like wake up screaming, ah, like Neo, like yeah. But see, this is like, these are snapshots from a few years ago. And sure, we can't believe everything that scientists have to say, but the hardcore conspiracy view that everything is a lie and there is no sun, people literally troll me and say there are no solar flares. I'm not in the flat earth movement. Now, if someone's going to declare me their enemy because I'm discussing the sun and they're taking this weird stance that the sun is a light bulb, that's not on me. Pattern recognition, I'm here to share that. So we're going to go back to the other stuff, but I got to bring up this image. So I'm just going real fast here. I'm just going real fast in the fly. Maybe I went past it. People ask me what I thought about geoengineering and the earthquakes and whatnot, and I think that they run operations when we see increased solar activity. These are some examples of some suspect incidents. Solar activity and the rise and fall of civilizations. We're talking about aliens tonight, so let's keep it on that topic. What do the aliens know that we don't know about the rise and fall of civilizations, the science of the sun? Okay. Put yourself in their shoes, knowing about the solar activity and the DNA change, knowing about the sexuality. We like to screw a lot, make babies go to war. Direct those societies. They know how we respond in mass to the sun. This is that alleged artifact depicting a UFO coming out of the sun. I found some information, right, about the solar activity. Excuse the coughing. This is a live stream coming to you from off the grid. Blame it on the low data. It's like I'm coughing up a little. Hey, if we got a solid audio stream, give me a thumbs up because we are winning, if that's the case. And so giant sunspot right before Roswell. 1947. Well, those things that happen. Like massive, alien craft stuff in the US and creation of CIA and NSA. lot of things going on in 1947, Russia, China, major advances. We also get back into periods when we see more solar flares, we see advances in technology. What else was going on? Again, solar flares believed to increase paranormal activity. River City Paranormal Society, located in southern Maine. Again, sea level, ley line, explains that the increased energy in the air supports heightened paranormal activity. And my, oh my, what a paranormal lifetime my life has been. So let's get back into this. And I am staying off the cigarettes. Definitely by a week. Got to protect against the aliens. Yeah, they like me. Truman Show. We got the Answering Show over here. And live. Live. So will we ever hear from the aliens? Well, actually, I have another tab for you to share with you. Let's hope not, because Stephen Hawking fears that ETs could plunder, conquer, and colonize. Man, if people already knew like the kind of rape going on, right? That some people there's stuff that already is going on. Radio bursts, or FRBs, from a deep space repeater called FRB 121102. Again, that's deep space repeater. FRB 121102. I'm going to actually close this window because it's trying to play a video. All right. So we are in this reality. We are in this reality to where our lives are easily observed from space, bar none. Okay. We have energy bodies that can be viewed from space. These humans in energy bodies, especially if they're doing work to expose what is going on, as far as I'm concerned, can find themselves under attack, under observation. And with this YouTube reality, yeah, it's not funny. It's more possible now than ever. It's crazy, in fact. People can sit there, humans can sit there that are, involved in surveillance and surveil other human beings. What kind of human would say that this isn't even possible, regardless of what they look like? For this technology to be used for something else. Think about all that energy, right? All that prana. It's like we're in a farm. There's something going on. You have people like Dr. Stephen Greer and others, though, that have tried to get people to have faith in these entities. We should reach out and have contact with them. I don't think that it's right to necessarily put yourself out there and have that kind of trust. I think that we should have a little bit of caution as to what might be surveilling us through the actual technologies, let alone the potential that they could be surveilling us in the grid. And a lot of people have beliefs that, the nanoparticles and other things that we've been breathing has actually put us on their radar. And I don't think that that's outside the realm of possibility. I think that's more real now than ever. Now, there's a lot of people out there that have used the term archon in the New Age movement that don't actually expose the archons or discuss the teachings of Christ. They have hijacked the archon term. Some people don't know where it comes from. It's several thousand years old. So many people that are on YouTube now, people like James Gilliland, they may talk about meditation. They may even talk about grounding. They may talk about clearing your chakras. They may have channeled some being from the Galactic Federation of Light. I am here to tell you that I think that some of these individuals are deceivers. It is important to be in touch with your field, like this picture represents, but to also understand that our field of energy, this prana, this ki, this chi, these entities somehow feed on that field. And by manufacturing particular events here on Earth, a lot of articles here are on those radio bursts from deep space. But see, it seems like there's a reason why there's billions of us. Billions. Not trillions yet, but, the idea of many humans being repopulated and being moved to other worlds. I think it's important for us to understand there's a creator of all that is, then there are then there are others that may have tried to masquerade it as our creator throughout time and human history, different lands. And I think that is the story of mankind. I think the story of mankind and civilization revolves around these massive deceptions that have come in the form of certain religions over and over and over again, and belief systems. But it's not limited to religion. So this is definitely something very, very interesting. And it's interesting, what do people think that Star Trek or Stargate or even Star Wars, what are these really metaphors for? Could some of these movies and plots be us in the future? Are there some of us as souls that are here from the future that have already seen some of these things take place? Are some of the souls that are here, for example, beings that have been in other places, that have other bits of information to share, for example? But it does seem that some of us that have a certain amount of information in light, we go through certain things here on the earth. And at times, it feels like we're in some weird kind of Running Man movie on a level that we understand and others don't. But I'm not alone in feeling that we're in some sort of a farm, some sort of a soul matrix prison. We keep coming back to that as one of the core subjects on this channel. Right? So as we bring this to a close, which we are now, again, we look at this article, the sun. Aliens living on 9 planets outside the solar system could be watching us right now. And, it's not so much about an alleged 9 planets. How would we know? But we have reached a point to where these are becoming regular conversations. No longer the subject of crazy people, right? Voices in the head. Well, we have literally scientific telescopes picking up on all types of sounds, things increasing. We have other articles talking about, weird sounds underground here on Earth, things like the Taos hum. Those of us here in the general Southwest area, anywhere near Taos, for example, even Felton, Colorado, there's something called the Taos hum. Is it something going on underground? And so, these are really things to ask.